last but not least, definitely not least, we have Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, which is would you say it's a Chinese movie? Yeah, it's Chinese, right? Yeah, it's a Chinese movie.
I mean, Shanghai.
Definitely a Chinese movie because it was dealing with China.
Yeah, they're trying to
Japanese
get rid of
relations. Yeah.
So this is the one time today that your movie guy voice would actually fit the description of a movie.
Okay.
Because you always do the action.
Voice
guy, even for Seven Chinese Brothers and Three Butter and Sherman.
You're right.
So
I gotta bring some variety to this.
Yeah.
I'll work on it. Okay. A young martial arts wizard seeks honest work in Shanghai, but becomes entangled in the violent rivalries of a rising gang boss and his enemies.
可不可以你也会想起我
Actually really good, yeah. I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, so this follows the story of a young man named Ma.
Oh man, I knew it, the whole thing, but yes, Ma.
Yeah, Ma. He's basically, Chad pointed this out first, he's One Punch Man.
Yeah, he's One Punch Man. This is live action One Punch Man.
In the early goings of the movie, the first couple scenes, we see that it's only one hand.
Yeah.
His right hand is powerful enough to kill a cow.
Yeah, in one punch.
And
so his mother sent him away because one, they were poor, and two, she's like, bro, just remember, you can kill somebody with that punch. So she gave him like a jade bracelet, which was so cool, because the more charged he gets, the more the ball spins.
Yeah, there was a ball that you'd see spinning as the force is building up in his arm.
So cool. I wish I had one. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have much use for it. But
I really liked the way this movie was shot.
Yes, so, okay, thank you. I thought that too.
So, like, in the daytime, it's kind of brownish.
Yeah, it's like sepia.
Yeah. And then at night, it basically turns into a noir.
Yeah.
It's a black and white noir. You get a little bit of color. You always get the color on his wristband.
Yep.
And you get some facial. But for the most part, it's black and white at night, and it fucking looks gorgeous.
It's amazing. Like, that was probably what really drew me into it at first. I'm like, I really like how this is shot.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So,
it reminded me of not LA Noire, the movie Saboteur, The Saboteur.
Oh, okay, the video game.
Me of The Saboteur, yeah.
The video game, The Saboteur.
Where everything's black and white, and as you liberate things,
you're liberating France from Germany, and you destroy stuff, and you'd get a little bit of color back into it.
Which, ironically, this movie is liberating Shanghai from Japan.
Yeah, it's basically liberating Shanghai from the Triads.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Axe Gang, which, when I honestly, sorry for my ignorance, I didn't know Axe Gang was real. I just, what movie is that? Kung Fu Hustle.
That sounds about
right. Kung Fu Hustle. The Axe Gang. I thought that was just a pun in that, but it actually was a thing.
Yeah. So Ma. He moves to Shanghai looking for work.
Ma Hu Yang or something like that.
Yeah.
Ma Ho Yang. Yeah.
Ma moves to Shanghai to look for work, and he finds a job for 80 cents a day. He actually gets it by arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, there's like an arm wrestling competition that they try and cheat. Like, they kicked one of the legs from the table, and his arm was still powerful enough to...
Dude put an X to his neck, but he just used simply, like, a pocket watch and put it up to his neck. Like, bro, I slice you with this too.
No, but I don't think he was slicing it, because he immediately said of just like, don't break the pocket watch. He's just like, don't break it.
But that was him also being like, I'll break this shit on your fucking throat.
So he's basically living like a very humble life in like the slums of Shanghai.
Yeah.
And then we get introduced, him and a couple of his buddies go to the nightclub. This is when it turns into a black and white noir.
His uncle takes him to this nightclub. Yeah.
And we get introduced to
Long Ki.
Yeah, Long Ki, the badass.
Long Ki is the man.
This dude is fucking amazing.
Yes. It could have very easily gone down a dark road, but he was such a good dude that you're just like, man, hell yeah.
When you first introduce him, he basically murders an old man.
Murders an old man and basically tells another old man, like, you ain't gonna do shit, so just sit there.
Yeah. Long Ki is he's a gang leader, and he's taking over the territory. It sounds like Shanghai was divided into 4 parts, and the triads took half, or Japan took half. I don't know if it's officially the triads. They mentioned the triads.
No, okay, so they weren't liberating from the triads, per se. Long Ki was part of the triads, and those other gangs were triads, the Chinese gangs. Okay. And they were stopping the Yakuza and the Axe branches of the Yakuza coming in.
And they were getting mad because Long Ki Long Ki saw the Yakuza taking half.
Yeah, but so Long Ki just is coming in and he's
like, no,
setting laws.
Yeah, he's like, I'm taking
lines.
Yeah, he immediately moved from his quarter territory to half territory.
And told y'all you split the rest of what you got amongst each other.
And I'm coming for those two anyways.
So be ready. It's super good. So basically, obviously, the other triad bosses are not happy with him.
And everyone's impressed with...
but nobody can last, what do they say, 10 punches with him? 10 hits from Long Ki and you can't.
It's no one can last longer than a cigarette.
No, that's what he always... Long Ki always says, if you can last longer than a cigarette... And he makes a deal with them. Yeah. But the uncle told Ma, he's like, nobody's ever lasted more than 10 hits.
Yeah. No one's lasted 10 hits, and no one's ever, no one can see the cigarette because of the 10 hits.
Yeah. And so this is basically how Ma and Long become friends.
No, so what happens is, Ma is against, the drug dealing stuff, and then he finds out that Long Ki's getting a shipment of a truck of opium.
Opium, yep.
And Ma is like, hey... I will fight you for this opium.
Yeah, he's like, you probably want a portion of it, right? Like, you beat up all those dudes in the back? He's like, yeah. He's like, you want a portion? He's like, yeah. And so Long was like, you know who you're talking to, right? Yeah. And he was like, okay, so at this point I know I gotta fight for this. Yeah. He's like, you last longer than this cigarette, I'll let you have a whole shipment.
Yeah. And they have a great
It is an amazing fight.
Yeah. So the choreography and the chemistry between these two is amazing. Yes. It is, I keep saying amazing. It's phenomenal. There's another word.
There we go. Phenomenal. Also amazing.
I've been using phenomenal a lot because of wrestling, but that's another tangent. There's a wrestler called the Phenomenal One, AJ Styles. He just joined WWE, so phenomenal has been in my vocabulary.
Okay. That's reason.
Yeah.
And so
don't get me started on wrestling. I should probably start a wrestling podcast.
So basically,
do you want to watch wrestling?
I would do it. Because I've never watched and you got WWE Network. I go through all the old shit with you just for the stories.
No, I would just make you watch Bayley, Sasha Banks, the two women wrestlers that are amazing.
Okay, I remember Sasha, I think.
Yeah, and then Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. You watch those 4 people fight, you're hooked.
Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah. Okay, so
where were we? Okay, so
they had this epic fight,
and so they have moved so far away from the cigarette that neither one of them will ever see it. Yeah. But Long Ki's subordinates,
his henchmen basically say hey, cigarettes out in the middle of this fight. And it looked like Long Ki had May on the ropes a little bit.
Yeah, it was close. It was just he had just punched him back.
And Long Ki should be pissed, but he's an actually great guy.
He's a nice dude. He comes up, he has a nice conversation with Ma, good job, dude, you gotta do.
Here's a lighter for a cigarette.
Right, Long uses the lighter to burn the opium.
And then he laughs at him, you can't...
He laughs bro, what? Use lime.
He's like, you can't kill opium.
I'm just bro, a whole area is about to get high as fuck.
And Lon is just laughing his ass off.
And he just cuts it off as soon as he gets his gas. He's
like, which one of you guys said the cigarette went out?
They all look at one dude. And then he just walks up to it like he's about to punch him, and he just walks past and gets in the car.
He's just like, that was the deal.
Okay. He's not that type of dude. Which was a nice placement, because you had just seen one of the probably the oldest triad boss. They're having a conversation with the other triad bosses about them, and this chick is cutting his nails. And so one of the bosses gets upset, so she gets startled and kind of cuts him. And the whole time she's trembling because he took it from her, and he's like, I'm cutting your nails now. And you thinking this chick about to get a hand cut off or something, but he just cuts it perfectly, files the nail, and he's like, you do it like that from now on, remember? Or you have no need for that hand. And I was like, damn. So, yep. So seeing that Long Ki was not that type of triad was
Yeah.
This movie really, like, it's not your typical kung fu movie where it's just fighting or not much substance or over-exaggeration. This is a really good
There's
movie.
a little bit of over-exaggeration in some of the fights, but, like, if the premise is his punch is super strong, then it's like...
They didn't do the whole, like, I'm gonna fly in the sky, like, a punch, you hit the ground, but you're gonna slide for a long time.
Yeah, so then May actually, a little bit later, asked Lon for an honest job.
Yeah.
And he's just like, me and my guys, I have a crew of 6 people.
Yeah, because when he got fired for basically beating the ass of the other triad dudes.
Yeah, because they're like, dude, don't do this. And then May's like, well, I'm going to ask Lon for a job. That dude seemed cool.
Yeah.
And then he got a job for him and his friends. He's like, we just need 80 cents
He's
a day.
like, you got followers already?
Yeah.
Look at you, man. Good job.
Right? Oh, shit.
Who's
the old guy doing nothing? He's like, it's our business, man. He's like, that's great.
Perfect, right? Everybody
he's
that
like, how much did you want again? He's like, 80 cents a day. He's like, fuck that. I'll give you $2.
Yeah, dude, right? Man, Lon was the man.
Yeah, and then he takes him into the club and he brings him onto the stage with, like, the attractive Chinese singer.
Yeah, and introduces him. Like,
yeah, he's like, this guy right here, this guy is my friend.
Right, he's cool with me, guys. So start treating him like that.
And he gives Ma an honest job, and I guess the only difference or the only like caveat is like you need to spar with me.
Yeah.
And then we get a montage of them just sparring and having fun.
They it's like, oh man.
It was the most perfect bromance.
Yeah, they just run around chasing each other.
They're in suits, just like fucking smoking cigarettes, breaking into random fights, laughing, stopping, breaking into treats him to, gives him his first hot dog.
Yeah. Which when he sees it, he thinks it's something perverted. But like a piece of paper even falls off like this little cart. And they start just, like, trying to kick it and see who can, like, tear it apart. It was really good.
Like, it was, like, a kung fu version of a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Of, like, a romantic comedy montage where these dudes are just, like...
like Simba and Nala when they reunited.
Yeah. It was, like... It was adorable, actually.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It's one of those things where it's kind of weird to say that because it's not, it doesn't go into a weird direction or, like...
It wasn't much beating around the bush in this movie either.
Yeah, but it was just like this really fun, like, broing out thing.
Yeah. And that's the most time they really spent on their bromance was just like, hey, we're giving you a montage, I guess.
Yeah, and then at one point Lon is just like, yo, dude, with your martial arts skill, you have no choice but to join me because you're an enemy of everybody if you're not on anyone's team.
And you get a lot of like insight into their character because Long is telling them like, join my gang, bro. But then Ma tells him like, I made a vow to my mom. Yeah. Like, I'm not joining the gang, but you realize you are my brother forever and I got your back. Yeah. And Long's cool with that. No argument or nothing. He's like, I understand. Cool. And Long has a fucking tiger in his house.
Yeah. So again, Lon is the coolest motherfucker.
Yeah, if I could be friends with anybody from that movie, it would be Lon.
Yeah, totally. And so basically, shit starts at the fan when Yakuza, I guess, and the Triad start
to actually confront Long. Yeah. And Long is like, you guys are coming in here as businessmen, but I read between the lines. You guys are trying to come and get me to help you invade China. Or Shanghai. But, you know, at that time, if you've watched martial arts movies in the past or just know your Japanese-Chinese history, the relations were not very good back then. Yeah.
I don't really know where the time period... I guess this would be like the 1920s. Because they mentioned, like... Because when they're eating a hot dog, he's trying to explain to May, or Ma, like, who invented the hot dog, but Ma's too busy, like, enjoying the hot dog. And he's like, motherfucker, let me tell you this story.
Ma eats his hot dog, too, after just devouring his first one. So, and Long's just like, whatever, man.
He's like, dude, I'm just trying to tell you a story, and you just keep eating the hot dogs or just interrupting me. Yeah, it was fucking great.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
I love their relationship. Like, their dynamic was great.
Really good.
So, again, shit hits the fan, and everyone's crashing in on Lon, and Lon gets wrecked.
Yeah, Lon gets ambushed by... Because the Triads basically told Ma, you gotta go. Like, if you're not gonna join us and help the Japanese, like, you gotta go. Or we'll kill you and everybody you're cool with. So... I guess it had been communicated like this motherfucker not gonna leave. But even though it had been like, okay, he's leaving, but deep down, you know, he wasn't leaving. Yeah. So they go to kill Long, and Long survives a while. That Japanese chick
he gets stabbed, but he fights his way, and
they get him first with like a poison pen that he sticks his finger onto a pen, and it poisons him. And from that, he still battles for at least 10-20 minutes, and at least goes at least 5-10 miles.
Yeah, because Ma meets him where he first is ambushed and fights off the dudes that are in that building. Then he grabs Lon, and then they go walk for a really long time.
Which is crazy. Like, if both of them were together in good health, Trias and Yakuza would not have had a chance.
Yeah, because they get to a certain point, and then Lon realizes, like, they end up in, like, an alleyway.
Yeah.
And Lon realizes, like, we're fucked.
Yeah,
so then
I'm dying anyway.
Yeah, so then he locks up Ma, and Ma has to basically watch Lon kick the shit out of a ton of dudes. At least 20 dudes,
but
there's too many dudes.
Yeah. He kicks the shit out of enough of them for Ip Man to be proud, but then more flood in. So you're like, oh, shit.
And it's one of those scenes where it's just like, it was so sad to see Lon die, but he died like such a boss.
Yeah. Even when he had been stabbed by short swords at least like 20 times, and he's still just laying on his knees like swinging the sword.
Yeah, he's just dominating. And then we find out the Yakuza's like killing Ma's
home, like
little
where
village
he
thing.
his Airbnb.
Yeah, I was confused because Sis was that wasn't his sister. That's her name, right? Because everyone called her Sis.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I thought Sis was the sister of the girl that he was courting, and the other daughter of the main guy. The
old guy that was there. Yeah. So everyone there gets murdered. So Ma has no choice but to like, I gotta go kill these fuckers.
Yeah, and they kidnapped his fiance.
Yeah,
as if calling him there. I figured she got raped, but then when they found
her, because they were all holding her down. It was like, oh, please don't go there, movie. Please don't go there.
And
but they took
her, and she didn't look like she'd been harmed even.
No, she was just tied up. So because I think they realized like Ma's too strong to let him live, so they figured bring him to our home turf, and we'll have the advantage
and let her go, whatever.
So we get this awesome fight where Ma is just
he takes out an entire
army,
an entire stronghold. Let's go with that.
And he's taking cuts left and right, and then we finally get like this epic battle between him and this guy in a sword fight.
Yeah,
that goes on for a pretty long time.
In that fight, not the fight with the main boss, but before that, it's like 3 people with swords he's fighting. He literally punches one in half. And I was just like, holy shit.
There's that awesome thing where the sword guy goes for like a fucking kick.
Yo, shit, like bro. He, after beating this dude's ass for like 5 minutes, this dude is just frustrated and runs up to charge, jump kick.
It goes for like a fucking a Mortal Kombat kick.
Yeah, the Liu Kang.
Yeah, goes for a Liu Kang kick and fucking One Punch Man just puts his fist out and then just snaps the dude's leg.
Yeah. And they didn't show like the bones cracking his leg, but this was after like he had already punched this other dude's hand that tried to punch him, and you literally see his bones shoot up his arm and like shatter out. Yeah. Oh my god, this movie was cold.
So this ends up leading to the boss fight.
Yep.
And it was a pretty good boss fight.
It was a nice boss fight.
Dude was a swordsman again.
Yeah. In which Long breaks a table and uses the leg. Which I was like, I would have grabbed 2 legs, but because the boss had 2 swords.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Ma?
Ma.
Yeah. You said Long.
I said Long. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Ma breaks a table and grabs 1 leg instead of 2. Like he had 4 to choose from, but shit, 1 was enough. That's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah.
How he killed him,
man. So the boss points a sword out and is like, "Bring it, motherfucker!" And May just puts his fist forward and just runs into the sword, but there's enough force.
No, his fist wasn't forward. He just like cocks it back.
Oh yeah, he cocks it back, and then you see the little ball on his medallion start spinning,
and he like basically impales himself with the sword through his chest, and gets close enough to just
break the dude's face. And it's a combination. I laugh because the CG is both good and bad at the same time. Yeah. But either way, it looked so.
It was better than Power Season 1.
That's not saying much,
but not bad. Still.
Yeah,
you're right. That was a bad example.
Yeah. It was a weird CGI. It was good low budget CGI.
But you see blood and teeth flying out, and the way his jaw snapped when he got punched. You're like, this is the punch I've been waiting this entire fucking movie for. I've seen people catch punches, but this was the one that I was waiting for.
So basically, Ma takes out a whole stronghold, a whole gang.
Yeah.
And then the police are waiting for him, and then the movie ends with him basically getting arrested?
Yeah, he got arrested, but the way they arrested it was the Chinese police. So the Chinese police even, like, They had to cuff him. He turned himself in, but they put a coat on him and everything. Like, bro, you literally just took out every gang leader and everybody in their gang. Job. And stopped the Japanese gang from coming and killed everybody in their gang, too. So it's like... By your fucking self.
The only thing that bothered me is, but it's a movie thing where it's just like, I don't think they know how stabs work, because you see so many stabs on him, but they're already...
stabbed a lot.
But he didn't lose any blood, really, and his cut seemed to scab really fast, but whatever. That's
whatever, I just chalk it up to adrenaline.
Yeah, but it's
a Wolverine factor.
Yeah. I mean, he's already One Punch Man, so might as well give him like Wolverine's healing power.
He can kill a cow with one punch, so...
It would be ridiculous, so I'm like, I believe in One Punch Man, but I don't believe in healing.
You got all this power. That's all the power you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... But his fiance waits on him. She was against fighting, but after he saved her, she was like, man, some people just need to be taught a lesson.
Yeah. And then they killed her father, so she was just like...
Killed her father in front of her, killed her sister in front of her, and as far as she knew, she was going to be raped and killed.
Because Lon's thing was, his catchphrase was like, some people just need a lesson.
Yeah.
And then she told him before he was going to kill the boss, some people just need a beating.
Yeah.
Like, she was pissed. She's like, go in there and kill them. But that's pretty much the movie, and I was really so thrilled with this movie.
And then they end with a shot on Welcome of the sign that says Welcome to Shanghai, which is the first street that he arrives on when he gets to Shanghai.
Yeah.
And he looks at it then like, a lot of shit's gonna go down on this street.
Yeah.
And then when they come back to that point, I was like, whoa, dude, that was a really nice little gimmick.
Yeah. So, what was your Netflix recommendation for this movie?
Netflix thought I'd get at a 5, and it definitely was a 5.
Okay, yeah, Netflix said 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I don't know why I don't want to give it a 5.
It's understandable. Yeah, no, it was points in it where... But, I'm a little more lenient with mine.
Yeah.
I kind of expected a 4.5 from you.
Yeah, but that was a great movie.
I really enjoyed that.
If we would pick winners every week, this would win.
And I was thinking last night, this may be one of my favorite martial art movies now, like legitimately.
Yeah, and of the movies we've seen so far, it's probably my favorite of the ones we've seen in the for the show.
Easily. I really enjoyed this. Thank you for wiping away the shitstorm that was King Arthur.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings an end to this episode. We pre-rolled the movies again.
Yes, we're liking how that went.
Yeah.
Especially since we continue to go over an hour. But I feel like that's allowing us to show more of our personality to these little tangents.
Yeah,
as opposed to just, whatever. See, me doing that was even my, damn, fuck that movie, man. I forgot we gotta watch this one.
Okay, so do you want to do the...
Yeah, I'm doing the movie man voice for this. Yeah. The only entertainment I'll find from this.
So this next movie is Julianne Moore, Steve Coogan film.
What Maisie Knew. A perceptive 6-year-old girl becomes a bargaining tool when she gets caught in the midst of a toxic custody fight between her self-seeking parents. Boring as fuck. I mean, this is my prejudgment.
Yeah. I don't know about
I feel like this
movie.
one's gonna be cold as fuck.
Okay.
It's not gonna... I feel like it's gonna be more along the lines of Ong Bak.
Okay, so... Well, not What Maisie Knew. We should probably preface... He's talking about the
the next movie I'm gonna say,
which is the Golden Cane War.
Julianne Moore just out there beating ass.
A 6-year-old.
That would be so good.
Okay,
let's make that a movie.
The next movie we're gonna see is The Golden Cane Warrior.
A martial arts master angers 2 of her proteges when she selects a third to take her post and the legendary weapon that comes with it.
Okay, so this is going to be...
better.
Yeah. This is another Asian action movie, martial arts, kung fu type thing.
I'm a big martial arts guy, so, I mean, it's cool. I admit a lot of them are kind of shitty. But anything where there's ass whooping, I'm probably going to be like, okay. Yes! I forgot about this, too!
And our third movie, which is weird that it's another kids movie.
Yes.
It's like we get a kids movie and a martial arts movie 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and then
randomness. It is a sequel to a movie.
Yes, this is a sequel. It's not as good as the original, but, I haven't seen it in years because of that.
Yeah, so, what is it?
The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. Made in 1998, guys.
Yeah.
A spaceship is made off with Master Rob's new baby son, and the gang of plucky appliances must get him back to Earth.
why does this movie and premise exist? Like, I don't get it, but I guess I
never understood why Brave Little Toaster went to Mars after they fucking got lost in a forest.
I always hated that baby.
They barely survived that forest, bro.
Yeah, and they're gonna go to Mars now?
Yeah, right? Fuck that baby. Yeah. Fuck Master Rod. He left you, remember that?
Okay. So, we're going a little bit long again, but...
Yeah, but those are our 3 movies.
Yep,
and the thing, we were going to go short. We had, like, makeup content prepared.
Yeah, we thought we were going to go, like, a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yep.
But the movies deserved a little bit more time.
They were good. It was a very nice hour.
All right, so we'll just do this quickly. If you want to give us some feedback, you can email us at everymovieever@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can find us on Twitter at EME Podcast, and you can find us at Facebook.com/everymovieever.
Check and check.
Yeah, if you are listening to us on iTunes, if you have time to rate and review us, that would help us out a lot.
Yes. Don't forget, guys, rate, review, subscribe.
Yeah, and then
Google
also,
Play too.
If you have suggestions, suggest us movies. If you have any feedback on the movies we have seen, we would totally read them on the show.
We've been noticing you guys are listening. Come on. Yeah. Tell us what you want us to do.
Let's give a little feedback. And don't worry, even if you're trying to catch up, we will read any email, even if it's about episode 1 movies. Like,
for sure.
A lot of these movies deserve more discussion.
Yeah. And if you really want some in-depthness from us, that's the best way to get it. Because, we got to fit so much here.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's so much more we can talk about. I could talk shit about things for days.
Yeah, yeah. Even if we do one-off episodes where we just talk about the movies we've seen with the feedback.
We should do it like every 5 episode, do a video.
Yeah, no, we can look into video. Yeah, we can definitely do that. So that would be it for today.
That's it, guys. Thanks for listening, and see you next week on the Every Movie Ever podcast.